Here, the PodBrother podcast, and I am with Leia, who is a goddess in her own right. She's like rocking the purple, and she's got the cool, sexy dress on. Leia, how are you?
I am just like walking on air right now because I just got back from Bhakti Fest, and it's so uplifting. I just wish that it continues and I bring it back into everyday life.
No, I interviewed a lot of people who went to that, and they all have kind of the same feeling, the same kind of aura. So walk me through, first of all, what it is and where it is and what makes it so awesome.
Okay, Kimbo, it's out in Joshua Tree, and the land there itself is so special because it's a vortex energy, and it's sacred Native American land, and it's just exquisite. I mean, it's got a heartbeat. That land, it's got a pulse. You really can connect with, and the sky is so vast, and you can really connect heaven and earth there.
Right. And how many people usually show up at this event?
Well, when I first went, which was the first one, there were only 300 people. And now, I'd say by Saturday, there were more than 1,000 people there.
Wow.
And
so you've watched some serious evolution.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing that compared to the intimacy of the very first one, but now like the expansiveness and how it's growing so much is very powerful and really uplifting and amazing, and all the fact that there's so many more people there now means that the energy is quadrupling and moving at a quantum rate.
Wow. That is really, really cool. So to be at the first one and to watch the evolution of it all is like, no wonder you're so high coming off of it, because you've got you've got history with it, and you're part of the evolution. Yeah,
and I'm a tantric yoga teacher, so it's like home to me, and also it's even more like home than sometimes how it is here in LA, because there's that devotional aspect to the whole thing that's so amazing, and there's the sacred and the devotional, and the bhav is just so present there.
Nice. And your yoga, how long have you been doing yoga?
Well, I started actually doing yoga. My mom took me to yoga when I was 17. So that was cool. And then I just have done it on and off my entire life, and I've been teaching for almost 20 years.
Oh, wow. Check you out. So you're long in the tooth with the yoga thing. That's cool. That's cool. What's your favorite thing about teaching yoga or doing yoga?
Wow. I think it's that it's coming present. It's like if you're working with a group of people, it's again that stirring and that sharing and that expanding of the energy. And if you're just doing your own practice, or doing a more physical, I do a lot of yin yoga now, and because it's gentle and it's deep, and you just sink right down into yourself, and it's so amazing to have to get to the mat and ground and just come really present and not have anything else to think about or worry about except
escape.
You know, your breath and your body, being embodied, your spirit in your body, which is my thing now, is like get this spirit incarnate, fully, completely embodied here, in the physical.
That's cool. And, I sense you are a goddess of goddess. What is your essence in being like the goddess that you are?
I would say that it is my great aspiration to conduct the goddess, the divine feminine, and to be a vessel for the divine feminine energy and the radiance of the divine feminine. And when I feel that pouring through me, when I'm gifted with that, as I am right now because of Bhakti Fest and because of other amazing things that are going on in my own life, and when you get lifted by that divine feminine and are in the flow of it, it's such a gift, and it's a gift that you can give out, you can give to everybody else, and it creates a field of amazing love, heart-centered energy.
When you give that out, what's the takeaway for someone who receives it? What is it that they leave feeling or knowing?
Joy. I think they get. I think the divine feminine is about love, being in the heart, and about joy.
Nice. Well, I feel joy just having you stop by my podcast and share your whole spiritual thing with me. It's very cool.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored that you asked me to do it.
How can we find you on the web? Are you Instagram? You got a website? Facebook?
Yeah. I'm Facebook, Leia's Honor, and Evolutionary Tantra on Facebook, and www.evolutionarytantra.com.
What's Evolutionary Tantra?
Well, it's Tantra that has the purpose of evolving our human self. So it's using your sensual energy, your primal life force energy that is in the lower chakras, and then raising that up and circulating that and spreading that out to create a whole bunch of beautiful, wonderful gifts and experiences for couples, like in a relationship, but also your whole relationship with all of life is tantric.
Is that a class or a course or a lecture or
how
do you experience that?
Well, I used to do a lot of work with groups, pujas, which are like honoring circles where men and women get together and they circulate and they look and soul gaze and honor each other, and then do like a maybe a sensual nurturing exercise to anchor that honoring in and to experience more joy and pleasure. And right now, though, I am mostly working with couples, and I'm doing a little bit of out of town. I'm doing some women's tantra, and but I feel like couples need this a lot, and it brings peace to their relationship.
Can you be my expert tantra, call in, so whenever I do a podcast and I have a couple on, I can call you and you can give some advice?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. That would be totally cool, especially if the couple is at war. I have wonderful techniques for being able to promote peace for couples, and it's very fulfilling to do. So
can you, if I had some test couples, could you come down to the studio and do some demonstrations?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Absolutely. Kind of walk us through for a A to Z session.
Yeah, I'd be honored to do that. Absolutely.
All right, that sounds cool. What about a one-on-one with me? Can you fix me? Am I broken or am I okay?
Your energy is really good, really really present, really open. So I think you're good. And right now I am not really doing one-on-one sessions with guys.
Well, I don't even know what that means, so I have no idea what a one-on-one session with a guy is. So,
well, it means a lot of things to a lot of different people, and so for me, because there's so many people doing different things, which, I don't know if I should even talk about it in the podcast, but
you can. This is an open, adult, universal podcast, so we can.
Okay,
I want my people to learn who listen to my podcast. So if you're holding back, how are they going to learn anything, really?
Well, you see, there's a lot of different kinds of tantra, and what a lot of tantrikas, as we're called, what a lot of tantrikas do is they do sexual healing work. And that's, that can be hands-on. They can be a sex surrogate. And they can do a lot of amazing trauma release work. So it's good work. It's just I don't want to do it. I only want to do sexual stuff with my partner. So my own personal intimate partner. So and I never really did do it because there is a bit of a legality thing. You have to be sponsored by a psychiatrist, and in order for it to be legal, or at one point you could be a sexological body worker, and that was legal. But
what's that?
Now that is hands-on, and it's for healing. It's like for people who have sexual issues, probably things like premature ejaculation or impotence, and it's hands-on work to create trust, to get through issues of shame and guilt.
That's where that generates from. Is a lot of those issues is from shame and guilt. And
Yeah. Well, there is physical mechanics as well, but there's usually underlying the physical mechanics. There's usually some emotional stuff that can really help if it's addressed and cleared. So, it's just not work. Like I'm a resident. I'm not a citizen. I'm a Canadian, and so I can't really ever do anything illegal, or I could be deported.
Well, we can't have you deported, Leah. We want to keep you here.
So what I teach, and I used to teach this to men one-on-one, which can help them with those same issues. I teach them exercises where they strengthen the pelvic floor. Where they learn how to, raise that energy, and then when they get to the goal, Tantra is not goal-oriented. It's just a wave after wave of energy and pleasure and love and joy and bliss and ecstasy. So I teach people how to ride those waves and how to approach them, and then how to let go and relax and not have any real goal. The goal is just this journey of a constant kind of turn on.
So if I want to surf, where can I find one of these waves? Is what I'm when you talk about it, it's like I think I've been missing out. I don't even know.
Well, you're right. Actually, I think a lot of people have been missing out on their own potential, their own potential of having a lot more sexual energy that doesn't get dissipated, because what happens, particularly with the masculine, is that the energy is flowing down and out, and then sleepy.
I can relate to that. Sleepy time. Get a good 8 hours of that up and down release.
Well, the sleep is good. You need the sleep, but the dissipation of energy is not good, especially the older that we get. So, it's okay for 18-year-olds who bounce back like that. But, you get to be 40s, 50s, 60s, you got to conserve your energy, your sexual energy.
Yeah, because there's no bounce back.
Yeah, because it's like, you know.
Unless you're a freak of nature.
Well, there may be some people, but Montague Chia and Charles Muir are really like the experts in that for men. And Montague Chia has a book called The Multi-Orgasmic Man, and I highly recommend that. That's a place for men to start. Are
there a lot of pictures in it?
Yeah, there are.
I was kidding. I was trying to make a joke because guys are always like, "Are there any pictures, illustrations?" Because
I think there are. I
visual.
mean, a teacher, an author I used to work for, also has these beautiful tantric books filled with incredible illustrations, and that's Kenneth Ray Stubbs.
So if I wanted to be like a test dummy in the whole Tantra thing, can you point me in the right direction so I can, like, everything you talked about, I can experience it and I can come back on my podcast and have some actual, like, some testimonial?
Yeah, well, I have a number of friends that are teaching, and I do intend to teach groups again. So I will keep you updated when that's going to happen. And right now, one of my close friends, Heather Ray Dawn, she does a lot of stuff, a lot of amazing stuff. So please check her out. She's on Facebook. She's
Heather Ray Dawn.
Yeah, her website and meetup is The Ecstatic Body. And Dawn Cartwright, I just did some tantric work with her at Bhakti Fest. She's pretty awesome. She's a great teacher. And here in LA, she's in Santa Monica. And Cherry Morgan is also a really good teacher. So, you can just tap in, and then there's meetups for Tantra. And
well, I think I want to interview them all. I think I want to tap their brain.
Yeah.
Because you sent me down a rabbit hole that's very interesting and intriguing. Here I thought I knew like everything, and I found out I don't know squat. I'm like an infant. In this whole like Tantra world, and you just opened up my eyes and my ears and my heart to like a whole new thing, man. I didn't even know, like 90% of what you were talking about, I didn't even know was out there.
That is awesome. That is awesome because that's one of my my sacred purposes is to show people that sexuality is highly pleasurable, erotic, but also has the range of going from, the primal to the sublime to like the most sacred and the most high. And I think everybody should experience that. Well,
you're now my Tantra expert go-to for my podcast. So if I
Thank
have
you.
any questions or if I have any guest on that has any questions, because now I can't help but like, I'm going to ask them about like their Tantra experience and where they are and what they know and what they don't know. And if they don't, I'm going to be like, Layla, I got somebody you can talk. Let me make a quick phone call real quick. I'll pull you into the conversation because I think that will be some very interesting dialogue myself.
That is totally awesome. I would be honored to play that role.
But I want to get your information because I want you to send me like the links to all those people you talked about. And,
sure.
I think having some hands-on, asking a lot of questions, doing some interviews, having them on my podcast, I think that would be cool.
That would be awesome because, I'm a promoter of sacred sexuality as an option for people to expand their pleasure in their consciousness.
See, I knew you were the goddess for me. I had a hunch.
Thank you so much.
So where can we find you on the World Wide Web? Are you have an Instagram or a website or
Yeah, I'm at www.evolutionarytantra.com.
Evolutionarytantra.com. Okay, very good.
And so mine is a more spiritual tantra. It's like the purpose of it is to for sex to be a sacred experience.
Nice. Well, the next time I have some sex, I'm going to throw in some sacred and make it an experience. And I'll be like, thank you, Layla. You hooked the PodBrother up.
All right. Happy to do so.
All right. Well, this is the PodBrother Show. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. And we're going to get back to the party. I appreciate you stopping by and sharing your wisdom and your love and your spirit and your expertise.
Thank you so much.